In the soft light of a Roman afternoon on January 19th, 2026, the fashion world lost one of its last true titans when Valentino Clemente Ludovico Garavani, known to the world simply as Valentino, passed away peacefully at his home in Rome at the age of 93. There was no crash, no sudden accident, no dramatic final scene, just the gentle closing of a life that had spanned nearly a century of elegance, artistry, and uncompromising beauty. His longtime partner Giancarlo Giammetti was by his side, along with close family and friends, in the same historic apartment on Piazza Mignanelli where he had lived and worked for decades. The cause of death was reported as natural, following a period of declining health that he had faced with characteristic dignity and quiet grace. As tributes poured in from every corner of the globe, from royalty to Hollywood, from young designers to the women who once wore his gowns. Let us pause and walk slowly through the extraordinary life of this man who dressed dreams, who made red the color of glamour, and who believed until the very end that beauty could still save the world. Valentino Garavani was born on May 11th, 1932, in Voghera, a small town in northern Italy, the son of a shopkeeper and a seamstress. Even as a child, he was drawn to fabric, to line, to the way clothes could transform a person. At 17, he left for Paris, studying at the Chambre Syndicale de la Couture Parisienne and apprenticing with legendary houses, Jean Desses, where he learned precision, and Guy Laroche, where he absorbed the art of feminine elegance. In 1959, at the age of 27, he returned to Rome and opened his own atelier on Via Condotti with the financial help of his father. The early years were modest, but Valentino's vision was not. He believed in absolute luxury, in perfect cut, in the kind of dresses that made women feel like goddesses. His first major success came in 1960 when Elizabeth Taylor wore one of his designs while filming Cleopatra in Rome. The world took notice. By 1962, the young designer had moved to Via Gregoriana and presented his first haute couture collection. It was there, in the same year, that he introduced the color that would become his signature, Valentino Red. That vivid, unmistakable shade, deep, passionate, almost theatrical, was not just a color, it was a declaration. Women wanted to wear it. Jackie Kennedy wore it. Audrey Hepburn wore it. Princess Grace, Sophia Loren, and later every first lady, movie star, and royal sought it out. Valentino became the couturier of dreams, dressing the women who shaped the second half of the 20th century. His runway shows were events, elegant, theatrical, never aggressive. Always ending with the designer himself walking out in a dark suit, bowing with humility and pride. He built an empire, ready-to-wear, accessories, fragrances, hotels, and eventually haute couture that rivaled the greatest houses in Paris. In his personal life, Valentino found his greatest love and partnership with Giancarlo Giammetti, whom he met in 1960. Giancarlo was 23, Valentino 28. They fell in love almost instantly, and their relationship, private, devoted, enduring, lasted more than 60 years. They never married. Same-sex marriage was not legal in Italy until much later, but they were inseparable, partners in life, in business, in everything. Giancarlo became Valentino's business manager, confidant, and co-architect of the empire. They lived together in Rome, in Gstaad, in New York, in Paris, always surrounded by beauty, art, dogs, especially their beloved pugs, and the closest circle of friends. Valentino had no biological children, but he was deeply devoted to his nieces and nephews, and later to Giancarlo's family. Their home was legendary. The apartment on Piazza Mignanelli filled with 18th-century furniture, old master paintings, and the quiet elegance that mirrored Valentino's aesthetic. Valentino's lifestyle was one of exquisite refinement. He divided his time between Rome, Gstaad, where he had a chalet filled with art and memories, Paris, and New York. He loved classical music, opera, ballet, and the company of creative minds. He collected art, antique furniture, and rare books. He was never ostentatious, He simply lived in beauty because he believed beauty mattered. Even in his later years, when he retired from the runway in 2008, he remained active, designing for private clients, attending couture shows, and supporting young talent. He never stopped sketching, never stopped dreaming in fabric and silhouette. His net worth at the time of his passing was estimated in the hundreds of millions of euros, built from the sale of the Valentino brand, first Marzotto, then to Primera, then to Mayhola and Kering, royalties, real estate, and a lifetime of disciplined creativity. Yet money was never the point for Valentino. It was always about the dress, the woman inside it, and the emotion it could evoke. When news of his death spread, the tributes were overwhelming. Anna Wintour called him the last of the great couturiers. Giorgio Armani spoke of a friend and a gentleman. Carla Bruni, Jennifer Lopez, Lady Gaga, and so many others shared memories of wearing Valentino on their most important nights. The funeral, held privately in Rome with a memorial service at the Church of Santa Maria in Monte Santo, was intimate yet filled with love, family, friends, designers, and the women whose lives he had touched. At 93, after a life of beauty, discipline, love, and quiet revolution, Valentino Garavani left us with a reminder that elegance is not loud, that true luxury is in the detail, and that a well-made dress can still make someone feel like the most important person in the world. Thank you, Valentino, for every red gown, every perfect seam, every moment of grace you gave us. Rest in peace. If this tribute to Valentino Garavani's extraordinary life, timeless elegance, and gentle farewell moved you or reminded you of the magic he brought to fashion, please like the video and subscribe for more heartfelt stories honoring the creators who shaped beauty in our world. Your support means everything. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.